my name is Sharon Oguntonade, and I am a content creator and social media manager at Flutterwave. So today we're going to be having our speaker, Bobson, today. And you're welcome to the Grow My Business webinar. And this is your first time. We're happy to have you here. And you have been joining us every 2 weeks. You're the real MVP. So if you're new, what is Grow My Business webinar? So this is what we started about 2 years ago for business owners. So this is our own way of sharing resources that business owners can use to grow their business. So we speak to industry experts across the globe on basically tools and resources that you can use to grow your business, from finance, marketing, the list goes on and on. So today we're having Bobson. He's going to be sharing effective ways to connect with your customers as a business owner. So I'm just going to do a quick introduction about Bobson, and I think he's going to give you more introduction. So today we have Bobson from Rwanda. He runs MVend. It's a fintech that's digitalizing village savings and loans associations and linking them to formal financial institutions. He has a passion for creating solutions, and he also likes finance and energy. So Bobson, I think you can also share more about yourself before going into the slide for today. Bobson,
thank you very much, Sen, and thank you for having me this week. It's a pleasure to be part of this conversation. Yeah, sure. My name is Bobson Rungbawa. I'm the CEO and co-founder at MVend. We're a fintech in Rwanda, Burundi, and Uganda, and we do payments as well as digitizing savings groups and linking them to formal financial institutions. And so today I've been asked to speak about a very interesting topic, and that is how, as a business owner, you can connect to your clients. And that's basically what I'll try to talk about. I do not claim to be an expert in this particular subject, but I'll be speaking from my personal experience and some of the things that we've been doing at MVend to make sure that we can keep in touch with our clients. I hope you can see my slides and you can hear me clearly. Okay, I'll assume that you can, and I'll go straight into the conversation. So, as a business owner, how do you connect with your customers? And I know that there are different people on this call, and their business models might be different. So you may be doing a B2B or a B2C, and that will differ when it comes to how you can connect with your customers. And so I'll try to cover both. I don't think that I'll cover everything in as far as connecting with your customers goes, but I'll do my best to talk about some of the things that we have done. So maybe a little bit about myself. I am the CEO and co-founder. I'm a passionate software engineer, and I'm also a renewable energy enthusiast. I'm very passionate about finance because I believe that the intersection of energy and capital is where the catalyst for development for the African continent lies. And but I won't go so much into that. And MVend is a fintech. We focus on banking the unbanked and merchant payments for small merchants who oftentimes are also unbanked. So right into the conversation today. I know most of us have seen this word, this initial, these three letters, very many times, KYC. And most of the times when we talk about KYC, the first thing that comes into our minds is the regulatory requirements or to know your customer. So it's biodata and maybe some additional information that helps you to know your customer very well. Now, as a business owner, if you're going to to connect with your customers, you need to know your customers, and that is beyond having bio data about the customers. You cannot connect to someone who you do not know, and so it is important that you build and maintain profiles of your customers. Now, this can be very challenging if you are if you're a B2B business. The challenges that you face are different than those of a B2C, because as you grow with more consumers, direct consumers, then it becomes a lot more difficult to know all your customers, as opposed to someone who's dealing maybe with 80, 100, or 200 organizations or enterprises that they are serving. And so it is important that you know your customers. That means that you're going to have to find the right tools to help you to know your customers before you can even think of connecting to them. And how can you, what does it mean to know your customer and be able to connect with them as a business? So the first thing is, if you're looking at if your business is more of a B2B, you're serving organizations, one of the first things that you need to do is you need to find who are the people that you work with on the other side. So in as much as it is an organization that you're serving, in as much as it is an entity that is consuming your services, it is important that you know which people on the other side you're working with. Who is in charge of the contract, who is in charge of the payments, who is the user really, because in as much as, yes, it might be an organization, but the service you're delivering is being consumed by someone in the organization. It is also important that you know who the direct users of your service in the particular organization that you're serving are. So maybe you're processing payments, and I may tend to use examples from fintech because that is my background, or that is what I do. So let's say you're processing payments for organization X for their clients. At the end of the day, the people in the organization that really rely a lot on your service are the people that are customer facing, as well as the finance department, the people who have to do reconciliation and look at the monies that have come in and make sure that everything balances up. Those are people who are directly affected by the service that you're providing. And those are the people that you need to identify and know. Of course, connecting also includes building relationships. So that means that you're going to have to build relationships with these people so that you can be able to connect on a continuous basis with the customer. Now, if you're more into if your business is more of a B2C, then you're going to have to use your data very smartly. And as the numbers grow, it becomes very difficult. And so data comes in to segment the users. If you have, say, 80,000, 100,000 users, then how do you know your customer? You cannot know all the 100,000 people, but these are people that are using your platform. And so you will have to use your data to be able to segment them and know who basically do customer profiles. That's why I used 3 different pictures. You'll have to put your customers in pools so that you can know certain groups of customers, know their behaviors, understand their needs, understand how your service affects them, how basically what they are relying on the service that you're offering to go about their day-to-day life, and how often they use it, how long they've been with your company, and so by doing that, now you're beginning to narrow down, or you begin to classify your customers so that you can very easily connect to them. One of the biggest things that you need to avoid, one of the dangers, is to assume that one size fits all. So if you're doing, say, again, I'll go back to payments or financial services, it is very easy to assume that everyone who is using your platform fits the same bill. They all are into payments, so that is the service that I'm providing. And then you look at them generically, but different people will be using in as much as all of them are doing payments, they're using your platform for different reasons. And it is important that you understand why they're using your platform for the payments that they're making. What payments are they making? How often do they have to make these payments? because if I'm using a platform to do payments and I only do maybe a set of payments every month, so maybe I'm using it just to do my bill payments or payments that I make once every month, I'm completely a different customer than someone who's using your platform to do payments on a day-to-day basis. Okay, and so my needs are going to be different. How your service affects me is going to be different than how it affects someone who uses it on a monthly basis, for instance, or a bi-monthly basis. And so those are some of the things that now you need to take into consideration and avoid using a one-size-fits-all approach, because at the end of the day, if you're looking at it from that perspective of everyone is using my platform for payments and you're classifying them broadly, then it becomes very difficult to have meaningful connection. So before you even think about connecting with your customers, you need to know who your customers are. That is a very important first step in knowing who your customers are. What is the customer behavior? What are their needs? What do they use my platform for? How often do they use my platform? What are their expectations of the service that we're giving to them? And then after that, now you can start thinking about, now, how do I connect to the different customers? Because once you know who your customers are, then you'll be able to effectively connect to them. And so once we've done that, now let's go a little bit to effective to connecting. Once you know your customer, then you can determine the best way to connect with them. And please remember that one size that doesn't fit all. And so when it comes now to connecting, you need to think about the tools that you're going to use or how you're going to be able to connect to these customers, how you're going to reach out to them. And of course, from time to time, you'll connect with them for different purposes or for different reasons. And so I'll quickly go through some of the tools that you can explore or some of the ways in which you can connect with your customer. And again, these will differ for different reasons or for different times or events in the lifetime of the customer. And remember, the goal is to build a relationship with a customer so that one, you retain the customer, because when the customer feels there is a relationship, when they feel they're part of what you're building, then they tend to stay longer and they tend to spend more on your platform. So it is important that you know that the goal for connecting is building a relationship with the customer. So one of the ways you can connect with the customer is through calls and SMS, and this is going to vary from time to time. What you're looking at, one of the things that you can do with this is you can schedule calls with your customers to know how they are doing and understand how your service is affecting them or how they are finding your service. And the most important thing about this is, one, you need to make sure that when you call them, you're not selling anything to them, and you need to make sure that you're willing to listen. So it is one thing to call your customer because you're selling them another service. It is another thing to call your customer just to get to know how they're doing and how the service that you're offering them is going and what challenges they may have, and just listen to them and get some feedback from them. And then at a later stage, you can call them maybe later to provide feedback on the conversation that you had. But it is important that your customers identify you as a business that listens. So from time to time, you can, depending on your time as a business owner, I know sometimes you have a lot of things that are going on, but it is important that you cut out some time and even where necessary, do support. I do it from time to time where I just decide to join the team that is taking calls and take calls and offer support. For some of the clients that we've interacted with that already know me, it means a lot to them when they call and then for support, and the person on the other end is the business owner. They get to feel like you take their problems or you take their requests for support very seriously. And the other thing that works magic, and this is not just for customers, in a way I'm also a customer, and it works on me, is when I receive a message on my birthday from my bankers, from the telco operator. it kind of creates that relation, that feeling that this business actually knows me, and it goes a long way. So when you've collected all this information, it is important from time to time, send your customers a message, send them customized messages on their special days, birthdays, national holidays. That sends out a message that you know your customers and you care, and that kind of creates a place from which you can start to connect even deeper. And then, of course, the other thing that you can use calls and SMS for is to appreciate. Call your customers from time to time and thank them for supporting your business. That also becomes a place from which you can build relationships with your customers and connect more effectively, because at the moment I call you to appreciate that you're giving me business, then number one, it creates a sense of belonging. It creates, oh, these people actually know that I exist, I'm spending money on their platform, and they appreciate the fact that I'm doing that. But it could also serve as an opportunity for them to give you feedback on the platform or on the services that you're offering them, and what you can do better. The other thing, that's how you can effectively connect with your customers, is by visiting them. So it is important that you cut out time as and when it is possible, and visit with the customers, visit with the people that are patronizing your business, and have a conversation with them, understand how it is going, and from time to time, if where possible, carry some goodies with you. So if you have branding material, notebooks, water bottles, those are things that you can carry on your visits, and you can also make sure that you time your visits very conveniently, in such a manner that there is something that creates a relationship, or that shows that you thought about your customer. It is not just scheduled visits, something on your to-do list that you must tick off. When you carefully think about when you're going to visit your customers, and then go and visit with them, have a conversation with them, it kind of creates, again, it improves the relationship that you have with your customers, and they feel they can trust you, they feel they can rely on you and your company. And at that level, then you're able to connect better, you're able to have better conversations, understand them better, they're able to give you better feedback. Because at the end of the day, remember that humans are relational beings, so it is going to be very important that they feel they can relate with the people on the other side. It's not just about a brand or an organization. Either way, on either side of that organization, behind that very big brand, are people. Whether you're serving another organization, still there are people on the other side. But if you're working directly, if you're doing B2C, then you need to know and you need to appreciate that you're working with actual people that have that need to relate. So visits is another way to connect with your customers and eventually be able to understand. One other thing that you can do is customer events. Customer events, they can be some sort of training events. They can be something like we're releasing a new feature. You do social events where you invite in your customers and have a conversation with them. Now, one of the key things that you need to do when you're doing such events is that you need to make sure, as a business owner, you need to make sure that you have the time. And if you're preparing for an event, make sure that you get a few people that you can talk to. So find out who the people that have been invited for this event are, and find out from your team some of the information about these people, and be able to have meaningful conversations with the people with the customers that are going to attend this event. One thing that it does is now it helps you to put a face to the people who you work with, but it also helps them to put a face to the person whose business they are spending money on every so often. And it is very important but also when you have meaningful conversation with them, you're not just walking around and shaking hands and thanking people for coming. It kind of makes them have a feeling that, okay, so this person really cares and understands and wants to know how we interact with this company and how that affects how that affects our lives and how it affects them. You're not just interested in the bottom line or in how much money they are spending on your business. So invest some time and make sure that you've done some research on the people that you've invited, and you can have meaningful conversations, and make sure there is nothing else in between. Usually it is important that if you're doing that, you focus on a group. So if you've identified a segment of users, just invite that segment of users, and so that you're not distracted by other maybe bigger clients that you want to jump from one client to the other, because the moment they see you're moving around, then it becomes superficial. If you meet a group of clients, even if it's a social event, you need to be able to take time and have some level of conversation with them before you move on to the next. The other key fundamental thing is build for your users. So you've connected with your clients, you've spoken to them from time to time, you've gotten feedback from them, you've gotten customer complaints from them, and you're building features to improve this service. How do you make sure that you keep the current users at the back of your mind? If you're doing an iteration of a product, or if you're going to introduce a new product line, how do you make sure that your customers feel a part of it now that you've established some relationship? One of the things that you can do is where it's possible, invite them if you do product focus groups, so that you can discuss with them. They feel like they're contributing to the product design itself. That would be a very good way of connecting with your clients and making them feel part of what they're doing. Take into consideration how whatever new feature, whether it is coming from within or it is coming from customer complaints or customer feedback, how it is going to affect the rest of the user base. So if I've already gotten used to something and it's going to change, then it's going to affect me in a certain way. So how do I make sure that, as a business owner, how do I make sure that the changes that we are making to our services do not drastically affect our current users? And then one other thing that you can do is call users and let them be the first to know about new features. So if you spoke with a user and they complained about maybe a bug or a process that was taking long in your business, and you've changed this and you're going, maybe you're releasing it, that is if you're into technology, you're releasing a bug fix, or you've changed the process within your business, and there are people who have previously called your business and complained about this. It's really important, and it gives the customer a sense that they're being listened to and you're taking seriously what they've told you. If you call them and tell them, hey, so we know previously you raised this issue, and we wanted to let you know that it has now been fixed, and we are releasing a fix, or we are changing our processes. So whenever you can, please try out the new service and do let us know how you feel about the changes that we have made. That goes a long way in telling the client that they are valued, that their feedback is valued, and it creates an environment now where they can continually give you feedback and help you to improve what you're doing. So a few things to note. It is important to connect with your customers. It is important that you do some of these things, but then there are other few things that you need to take into consideration. So customers or users are really smart. So they're going to see through some of the things that you're doing, and that is why if you're going to spend time to connect with your customers, make sure that your heart is into it. Make sure that you have the time to speak to them. It is also important that you speak to your team first. So it doesn't come off well if you visit a customer and they've previously had an issue, they've probably raised it with your team, and you go to visit them and you don't seem to have the first idea or the first clue about something that they've been complaining about for so long. So it's important that you talk to your team and understand what You understand what your customers have been talking about, the feedback that they've been getting, who these customers are, what their needs are before you go and engage or you speak to your customers. It is also important that you make follow-up calls on previous calls and interactions. So if you visit me as a business owner and we talk about something, and then you go and you don't call me back to give me feedback on something that we discussed or fix what I requested for and let me know it was fixed, and then you show up maybe 2-3 months later or whatever period of time, I'm going to very quickly figure out that, this is something that you just do as a business to make yourselves look good or to create the relationship. You're not trying to create some value for me as a customer, and it's going to break down the connection or the relationship. And so eventually there is no value in you doing some of these things that we've been talking about. The other thing is just avoid making promises that you can't keep or don't intend to keep. This happens a lot when you try to connect to customers. When you speak to them, they'll give you feedback, they'll give you their expectations, and sometimes it's very easy to make promises. You're like, we're going to fix that tomorrow, or we're going to make sure that this is delivered to you tomorrow, and sometimes it's just not possible. Now, when you do that once, twice with a customer or with different customers, then they no longer feel they can trust you. So it's, again, all the effort that you're putting into connecting with the customers now ends up going to waste. So the other thing is, if you don't have time, if you're in a hurry, then don't engage, because again, it's going to leave the customers feeling a certain way. It leaves the customer feeling that they are not valued. You really didn't put thought into this, or you have far more important things to do, and that is why you are running away. So it is important that if you're going to engage with your customers, you have the time. If you're doing a visit, make sure that you've cleared your day and you have the ability to spend as much time as the customers may need to be able to talk to them. Or if you're moving around the room at an event, trying to speak to your customers, make sure that if you walk to a particular table or to a particular group of customers, you've already committed to spend there some good amount of time and listen to them and have a conversation with them. Keep it personal. Again, you need to find out how they are doing, how your services are affecting them, as opposed to trying to sell. Once you've established the relationship, then that is when you're able to now build on and sell. So if the conversations or if the connections are always transactional, you're always trying to add another service, sell them something, then eventually they'll feel it, they'll be able to discern it. And so it is important that you keep it personal and make sure that you're getting to understand and to relate with them at a personal level. Tell stories when you can. What affects you? How have you come to building this solution from a personal standpoint? What is it that drove you there? Now, the ability, if they can feel like the service you're offering them connects to you personally, and the reasons you're doing these things connects to them as well, or it affects them personally, then you're able to build a relationship or a connection with the customer. And finally, listen more. Just take the time and listen, and let everyone around you speak more. You will learn a lot. You learn how the customers feel. You learn how the customers think, and that will help you grow your business faster. That's it. Thank you very much for the time and for listening. I look forward to the Q&A at the end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bobson. It was a very insightful session, and I'm sure people are already saying it was very insightful. So if you have any questions, you can put that in the Q&A section, and we'll go over it after Ronald's session. So now we're having Ronald from Flutterwave share what Flutterwave offers business owners in Rwanda at the moment. Hi, Ronald, are you there? Awesome.
Yeah, hi Sean, how are you doing? Good afternoon, everyone. You can hear me clearly?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Bobson, for that insightful presentation. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Had a good day. My name is Ronald Kambanda, and I work with the Flutterwave office here in Rwanda. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can. We're just waiting for you to put it in.
Yes, we can in slideshow mode.
All right. Okay, great. So today I'm going to talk about one of the services that Flutterwave offers to our merchants, and this is called Flutterwave Store. So how to grow your business with Flutterwave Store. We'll give you a brief background on what Flutterwave Store is, how it started, and how you can onboard and use this service. So Flutterwave Store is quite simply the best and easiest way to launch and manage an e-commerce business, to accept payments from anywhere in the world without the need to have a website. You don't need to know how to code. You don't need a website like I earlier mentioned. All you have to do is you sign up on our dashboard. You create a store which allows you to list your products. You just need to have a registered business or an individual. An individual would request a few KYC documents, extra KYC documents from you. But if you're a registered business, would only need, for example, in Rwanda, would only need the RDB certificate, IDs of the people that own the business, your website, if you have one. If you're an individual, would ask a few extra KYC documents, like if you're selling online, would probably believe that you have probably selling on Instagram, so your Instagram page, your Facebook page, where where you're listing your products. So it's as simple as that. A brief background on how the concept of the store came about. It was conceived as part of the Flutterwave's resolve to help businesses to keep the lights on during the COVID pandemic. So this all came about to help our businesses out there to keep selling when there was a lockdown. People cannot move out of their houses to come to your shops. So this is where the whole concept came about, to create the Flutterwave Store to assist businesses to easily use online, to have an online presence without necessarily having a website. What are the benefits of having a Flutterwave Store? So like I earlier mentioned, you don't need a website. You can list all your products on our store. So you list your products in all the sizes that you have, the colors. So you don't need all this coding knowledge to have to create a store on our platform. Like I mentioned, it's easy to set up without the need for a developer. You're able to track all your payments on the dashboard. It helps you track all the payments that you've received from your customers. It helps you track all the invoices. It helps you track, all the sales that you've made within a given period that you'd want to check. It also creates a seamless shopping experience for your customers. They don't have to, as soon as they go to the store, they can browse through all the products that you've listed, choose what they want in the sizes they want, the colors they want. And, they don't have to go through back and forth with you as a merchant. So they will see everything that you've listed on the store, and, they will choose and make payments. And all you have to do is to make the delivery. The features of the store, like I earlier mentioned again, it allows you to list your products in multiple variants, such as the size, the weight, the colors, so you have all these different variants that you can list depending on the products that you have that you're selling. Like I also mentioned earlier, it helps you manage your inventory, whereby you don't have to, as soon as someone buys something, the store allows you to reduce the stock according to what has been purchased. So you don't have to manually go to the dashboard or to reduce, to make adjustments of what has been purchased and what is remaining. So because of the features of the store, you're able to manage your inventory. You don't have to worry about fraud. We have inbuilt fraud management solutions. When you have a Flutterwave store, you have multiple payment options, including cards, international cards and local cards, mobile money, all the other alternative payment options that we have. PayPal, Google Pay that we are bringing on board, Apple Pay. So all these other options, you'll have multiple payment options to collect from. Like I said, yes, we have local and international card acceptance. For individual accounts, like I earlier mentioned at the start again, you would need extra KYC for you to accept international card collections. We also, the store also allows you to manage the store on web or on using a mobile app. We have a mobile app. If you're on the go, you can, check all the orders that are being made. You don't have to, be seated somewhere with your laptop or something to check what's going on. So we give those options to our merchants as well, who have a store. You can look at, what's going on web and through the mobile app. So yeah, who can use the store? Anyone, everyone, as long as your business is legitimate or with products and services to sell, we onboard you. We are ready to support your business. The store has no boundaries, it has no limits, so you can create and sell to anyone, anytime, and everywhere. Like I earlier mentioned, if you have not yet completed the registration with the bodies that are in charge of registering businesses, you can we accept you. We'll need a couple of other KYC, like I earlier mentioned. We could ask for Instagram page, all these social media pages that you could be selling on. So we onboard you and we ask these extra KYC documents from you if you're an individual. If your business is registered, well and good, we will also accept you to come on board and register with us and list your products on the Flutterwave store. And once you have that, you'll enjoy the same benefits, like this, the same power that to process payments as any company on the Flutterwave network. So a brief how you use the store, the steps that a customer goes through. The customer will goes through your store. They will make a selection from the store of what they would want. They put it in their bag. Then they proceed to the checkout. The customer inputs all their personal information, the delivery information. Then the customer will confirm all the information, then selects the pay now option. Once they do that, they go to our checkout page and they will choose which payment method they would want to use, such as cards, or mobile money, or the other payment options that I earlier mentioned. So then the customer will complete the payment, and once the payment is completed, the merchant or the store owner will automatically in real time receive a notification that of the order that has been made from the customer. So all the merchant needs to do at that point is to process the order by picking and packing the item, and then dispatch it to the customer for delivery. We are working on right now the merchant. You'd be in charge of doing the delivery and the dispatch to the customer. We are we're in the process of having a couple of delivery companies come on board so that they can have this service provided, of course at a cost. Once when you'd have calculated the delivery fee as well, once the customer is making the payment, so delivery fee would also be calculated. The store allows you to calculate the delivery fee according to the location of the customer, so that would also be embedded within the price that the customer would have to pay. So at this point, the store owner would dispatch and pack the item and dispatch it to the customer. The store owners, we depending on the type of payment that has been used, such as if it's mobile money, for example, would settle the payments the next day, which is T+1. If it's international payments, that's T+5. So within 1 day, if it's a payment that has been made within local payment methods, you're able to receive those payments the next day. We settle those payments the next day. So it is that's the whole process that between the customer and the store owner. That's how it would all flow. Thank you. I think if there are any other questions regarding this is it. And just to conclude for our Rwanda listeners, we have asked our offices are at Remera Corner on the second floor. We also have a dedicated email address that you can reach us out on. I'll drop that on the channel, on the chat. We also have a dedicated phone number that you can call us on, or WhatsApp, and we're always there to support you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ronald. So that brings us to the Q&A. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop in the Q&A box, and then we'll go over it. So I think the first question I see is from Roger. How do you make sure your calls, texts, emails to customers are not another way to annoy them? Some of the businesses are very bad at it.
Thank you, Roger. It goes down to how often you do it, okay? Make sure that you're doing it in a meaningful way, that it doesn't become spam. So if you're sending your customers messages on their birthday, that is something that comes around once a year. If you're sending them, if you're making maybe 3-4 calls to your customers a year, that is hardly spamming them. So that is basically how you ensure that you're not becoming one of those companies that are spamming your customers in the name of building connection. And again, like I said, when you're trying to connect to customers, avoid trying to sell them something. Okay, so make sure that you're not selling them something. Most of the companies that we end up feeling very bad about them contacting us is because they spend a lot of time sending us messages or making robocalls because they are trying to sell us something else. So just make sure that when you try to connect to your customers, it's not because you're trying to sell them something, it's because you're trying to hear from them.
Thank you, Roger. So the next question I see is, how do we register? So I'm sharing a link on how you can register on Flutterwave, which is dashboard.flutterwave.com/sign up. Okay, any other questions, anyone? If you have any questions, you can feel free to share. If not, how did you enjoy the session? Anyone? Just tell us how did you enjoy it? Was it great? Let us know in the chat box. Okay. Oh, what's really helpful.
There's a question from Sifa.
Oh, where? Sorry. Okay. Okay, so I will just read it out. Does Flutterwave work with service selling companies, e.g. tour operators? Ronald, I think I'll leave that for you to answer.
Hi, Sifa. Yes, we everyone is welcome to our platform. Tour operators, definitely. Service providers like tourism companies that are doing tourism work. We are very ready to support tourism work. We already have quite a number of tour companies that we are working with, and we are ready to support you to collect payments from all these Visit Rwanda. So yeah, we are supporting tour operators and service providers. I hope I've answered your question, Sifa.
Thanks, Ronald. She has another question with, is there any charges and how much? Like how does, okay. I think Jolade has shared the price, but do you want to speak on that?
You can take this, Bobson. Sorry, not Bobson, Ronald, but I just put the link there in case people want to be able to do like a deep dive. So for local transactions, it's 3.2%. For international transactions, it's 3.8%. I had that link on standby because I just anticipated it would be a question, but if you want to add to this, Ronald, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Jola. Sifa, you can check out that link. We have our prices; they're out there for everyone to see. But please, you're welcome to our office. We can, get into a deeper conversation on these charges, we are open to a few to sit down and talk. So please don't be worried about what you see on the website. If you have time, please pass by our offices. You can write to us on the email I've shared, or you can give us a call on the number that I've shared.
Okay, great. I think we're just going to end the webinar right now. Thank you everyone for joining us today. It was great to have you guys. See you again 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, we have different webinars for business owners. This webinar is being recorded, so after this meeting, you should get it by the end of the week. Or if you don't receive that, you can always check our YouTube channel, Flutterwave. And if you have any issues regarding how to set up, or you just need us to walk you through how to sign up, you can reach out to us at hi@flutterwavegrowth.com. Bobson, I don't know if you want to share ways people can reach out to you, maybe via email or your LinkedIn. You can share that in the chat box for people. But thank you so much, Bobson, Ronald, Leah, Jolade. This was really amazing. See you all in the next one. Bye.
All right, thank you so much.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.